Hey guys, welcome to the ninth episode of the Awarenezzz podcast. Today we are here with our guest Brady Tius. Thank you very much for being here. Tell us about yourself. How are you doing?
Like you said, I'm Brady. I'm on the men's basketball team here. I'm a junior. I'm in sports management as well. So,
Good combination.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Let's do us a little rewind about like when you started playing basketball. You mentioned earlier that you also played other sports. So how was it for you in the beginning?
I've always been a basketball kid at heart.
Yeah.
I know I told you earlier I played baseball a little bit. So that kind of helped with kind of my dynamic on how I went about sports, just playing, getting in the flow of things. But basketball, I started dribbling when I was 3.
Okay.
You know, I was always the kid that was I was ready to work. Honestly, whatever came my way, I was ready to attack it. I was always the little guy in the bigger groups of kids and everything. I was up early with the older kids. I think I was a kindergartner practicing with 5th and 6th graders.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So that's how I went about it. Had lots of help and stuff and support from the family. So that always helped.
3 years old. Like, who got you into basketball?
My mom. My mom got me into it for sure. She just rolled the ball out and started picking up, started dribbling and all that. So
She a big basketball fan?
Yeah. So my mom played basketball. When she did, and my dad actually played baseball.
I think I've seen your mom in the stands.
Yeah,
Is that her?
That's her. Yeah. It's her too, cause she be
I
yelling.
like the energy.
Yeah. That's my mom for sure.
That's very nice.
But yeah, man. So you were always that kid, because like when I practiced soccer back in Colombia, there was always this little guy that was brother with one of the guys.
Mhm.
So he always went into our practice. So you were basically that little kid.
Yeah,
going
man.
to big man practice.
It's fun too,
Yeah.
and it helps with your development of the game. I would be at a young age and stuff, not really understanding it right away, but
Yeah.
when you take the opportunity of things like that and work with older people, game changer.
I mean, especially in a young age when you work with older people, because they're all taller, stronger, faster,
Mhm.
it helps you to develop all your technical abilities. Because that's the thing you have to rely on in that moment.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
sure, man. And then how was that development process started? Like, okay, you were playing at 3. How do you start getting like good level? How was all that process for you?
It was never quick. It was never perfect. Definitely a lot of steps and a lot of time, a lot of hours. I'm a big consistency guy. So
For sure.
when I was younger, I had to learn and grow up pretty quick. Like, if I'm going to be the smallest guy out here, I got to do a lot of things that other people aren't going to do.
Yeah.
So I had to take the sacrifices and all the opportunities and the time to create extra time for myself and the game, so I can go out there and understand and play to my best abilities and things like
How early
that.
did you realize that you like let's say on the smaller side when it comes to basketball teams? But like you mentioned plenty of like older people,
Mhm.
but like probably when you were like 10, you were like about the same size as the other kids.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because as I'm growing up, everybody else is still growing.
Yeah.
So I'm still the smallest guy out there. But there was a time where I was the same size as other kids, but I was also more developed.
Mhm.
Because I started early,
Yeah.
and I did a lot of things that other people didn't do, and that helped in my benefit and when I played and everything. So, and it still does, now even at the college level. Consistency and just doing the little things and putting in extra work is really what gets you places.
And I think it's very important, like, because for basketball, like it or not, height is a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a person like you, maybe you say you were the smallest guy in the team, could have easily like put that as an excuse, like complain about it, maybe try a different thing, but like using it to say, okay, this means I have to work harder, I have to do something else,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like really inspirational, because a lot of people like would prefer to use it as an excuse. I don't know, laying into it, but you actually started like putting in the work. Like, what were those things that you started doing, like to set you apart from the other people?
First thing it started with was mindset,
Yeah.
and that's such a hard concept to even like grasp or think about, because the mental game I'd say personally it's a lot more than the physical part of it.
Yeah.
I'm a big Kobe Bryant guy,
I saw it in the wallpaper.
Yeah, big Kobe Bryant guy, man. I love just how he went about the game and everything like that. So I tried to implement that into everything that I do, like you talk about with height. Yeah, I'm the smallest guy out there, but I'm gonna go get those extra rebounds, those loose balls. I'm gonna go, make the extra pass, do whatever, just do the dirty work and stuff like that, get it done, get the job done. So that's a big part of it. And then just the same thing, just consistency. That's all. Like I just love like with the fact and just the idea of that, because it takes a lot of time to really get where you want to be, especially if you have, big goals and everything. And being small, you gotta figure out how to do this and that, do this way or that way, so
you have to adapt your game.
Yeah.
It's like important to see, like, of course it comes with a lot of downsides, but also like there's some benefits of being smaller. You're more agile, you're fast on the first 5 meters, which is also very important in basketball. So
I saw something the other day, which is like there's no good thing or bad thing, it's just a thing. Like for you being like probably smaller than the other guys, maybe you could have seen it as a bad thing, but then you started working on it and say maybe, okay, there's some advantages on probably being smaller, and then you started working on that. So that's why I think like that's really important. You also talked about consistency. Like for me, that's also really important. Was it because consistency is like doing the basic stuff like over and over again without seeing the reward immediately? Was it frustrating for you at some point? How did you manage to stay consistent? Because a lot of times we don't see the reward like at the moment. We have to keep grinding,
Yeah. Oh, that's a great, point. Consistency it's not easy. It's not something you're going to get on the first try.
Yeah.
And I think in order to even, attack that, you got to understand that there will be days where, shots aren't going to fall, and there will be days where shots are going to fall,
Yeah.
But it all starts with taking the time and the intent. The intent is, to me, the key on consistency. Because if you just go in the gym to just get shots up, I mean, like, what are you really gaining from that other than just being in the gym, But if you're going in the gym to get shots up and practice, certain moves, walk through some plays, you got going on, just how you go about it is how you're going to get the best, advantage out of it and benefits out of it.
like, don't just go to the gym to go to the gym. Like, have a goal, what you want to work on. Because everyone can go 5 hours to the gym and just do some ball handling, stuff like this. But if you go to the gym for 1 hour and say, I want to practice exactly this move, I do it like 100 times in this hour, it's going to be way more beneficial than just doing 5 hours, different kind of moves.
Yeah, because it may, like, we actually talked about this in the last podcast with the golf player. Like, he was talking about quantity and quality, and I think quality means intent, like knowing why you're doing the stuff and doing it exactly for your goal. So like you mentioned very key terms, like what was your intent in those practices? Like, what was the goal? What were those goals that you were trying to achieve?
Personally, just to, get 1% better every day. I know that's talked about a lot by, numerous athletes, and it's true, every day you take it day by day, and the intent to get better, you're going to get better. You're going to see the results and everything,
You have a method for this? Like maybe you do journaling, or maybe you plan your days ahead?
Yeah, I do. I plan out a lot of my days. I have a very like set schedule on, okay, if I don't get shots up during this time, then I'll go later tonight.
Okay.
If I get shots up during the day, maybe I don't need to go tonight, but I can do something else, related,
All right.
I never really take like a break or a day off, because I'll be, like I said, like I'll go shoot one day and then I'll watch film, later on.
You just adapted to how you're feeling.
Yep. And just taking it day by day and just honestly just where you want to be at the end of the day, just not going through the motions, just having intent and all that.
Okay. No, that's really important, because sometimes like there's some days that the shots are not gonna fall.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt to it and see in what way you can make it better now. So that's really good, man. So talk to us a little bit about that baseball part of it. Like you also mentioned that you play baseball.
Yeah, I played baseball when I was younger. Big Yadier Molina fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, love catching and all that. Played shortstop and all that. Playing baseball just kind of helped me playing baseball and basketball at the same time just kind of helped me just get in the flow of things and see a lot of different outlets, I'd say, in the sports world.
Yeah.
I know baseball and basketball are two different sports, but the other thing that I just, found playing is just the intent, just getting after it every day, and having fun. That's really what baseball taught me is to, have fun, because I'm so serious and, focused on basketball all the time. Baseball was just kind of like my outlet.
So basketball was always like your main goal.
Mm-hmm.
But then baseball, you also play and you liked it.
Yeah, I love baseball. Love baseball.
And that also goes with the intent, because like there are some things that are not exactly your goal, but if you have that intent, if you have that goal in mind, that you can take like lessons from everywhere, because you know where you want to go, so you know what you got to get from certain spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you say like having that baseball part of you like was also very beneficial?
Yeah, especially on the mental side of it.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, baseball is a pretty tough sport.
Yeah.
You're getting, somebody's throwing an 80-mile-an-hour ball at you and you got to hit it.
Yeah.
Mentally, baseball kind of taught me that, okay, one pitch at a time, one play at a time.
Because it's also a very slow sport.
Yeah, very slow. You got to stay locked in,
Like for baseball, it's like you have to be there in the 5 seconds moment. Like maybe if you take a free shot, you have to be also there in the moment. Like
it's like being focused without doing anything. Like you can be in shortstop and you might not receive the ball for like 30 minutes, like for 3 innings.
Yeah.
For that one that you're gonna receive, you have to be you
gotta be ready. Yeah. Baseball has taught me to be ready. Especially with the little things like reaction time. Seeing the play before it happened. That also helped me. But yeah,
I think it's also like a good combination between like it's a team sport, but I think it's very individual too, because then like if a ball comes to you, you're the one responsible for it, but then it affects all the team, so it really teaches you both sides of the sport, right?
Yeah, I agree.
No, and I also want to go back to your, I know it's a little bit of change of topic, but to your mom.
Yeah.
How important was she in that development process? Because I know she's like very, very into the game, like because of what you've told me and because of what I've seen. How important was she in that development for you?
Man, sometimes words can't even, put into like, I can't even, put into words, how much she really helped me. Like she was the one that always was there for me, motivated me on the days that I didn't want to do something, And she was like, while you're doing this, other people are, chilling, they're not doing what you're willing to do. So you got to think about it that way. She helped me mentally with that.
She was like active in that aspect.
Yeah. And I needed that, and it's hard being an athlete sometimes like that, especially with the mental side of it. So having somebody, like a close family member to even just teach that to you is huge. And she'd always, late night gym, go get shots up. She was there. Help me prep for games even, watch film with me. Really? She's not on the team, but she's going to help me, watch some film and talk about it and stuff.
It's always having someone around you, like, did the journey already. She knows, like, what's wrong, what's right, and, like, what it takes to get to, like, a high level.
That's very nice, man. Like, she was always there, even watching film.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, because for some guys, like, parents for me are, like, one of the most, of course, it's obvious, one of the most important things for the development of an athlete. Now, there might be some that are more like passive, but they're still there. But then for you, like she was active and she was always there, like pushing you. Would you say that was like probably a big game changer for you in your career?
Yeah, I could ask her anything, and that helped, especially if I failed,
Okay.
If I messed up or, made some boneheaded play and, I asked her about it afterwards, like, hey, what could I, have done differently, or what did you see out there, Okay. She'll tell me instantly, she'll give me her feedback, and just from there, just step by step, it gets better and all that. So
did she go hard at you after the game?
Oh man, there's still times where I just get ripped by her.
It's always that car drive, man.
Yeah.
You don't even want to look to the side.
Yeah, that car drive is no joke. Yeah, that car drive is no joke sometimes, man.
You don't even want to say a word. Like, you're waiting for him to say something.
Looking out the window, just just waiting to get home.
Yeah, that always happened to me with my dad. I was just waiting for him to come at me. He was like, "You don't know how to defend."
Yeah, my dad. My dad never played basketball, but he's the baseball side of the family.
Okay.
So
he got the baseball from him. Okay.
He's the catcher and all that. He was pretty good, but yeah, even with my dad too. He's never played basketball, but he's watched me his whole life, right?
Okay.
So he still got some of those basic terms or those basic concepts even help me develop in my game too. So I take advantage of that, and those car rides are brutal with him too. Yeah.
For me, it was more like my parents on the passive side. My mom, she's like always supportive and stuff like this.
Yeah,
my dad, he was doing rowing, so he didn't know anything. Like, of course, like some stuff about football or soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was watching the game, and after was like, why you didn't do that pass? Why you didn't see that? In the moment, it's always different. Like when you have to stay calm, especially like after a loss. Like I was like, okay.
No, my mom has no idea. My mom has no idea about soccer. So it was always like me going to the game at to house, and she was like, "How did it go?" Like when I was quiet, she knew like she didn't talk to me the whole day.
Yeah.
And my dad went a little harder on me. Yeah. And then how was that process? Like when you decided to, okay, I'm gonna stick to basketball. I'm gonna leave baseball side. I'm gonna put my 100% in basketball.
It was about probably when I was 13 or 14.
Okay.
I played travel baseball whole life up until then, and travel basketball and school basketball as well. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking like, I had a lot of basketball opportunities coming my way, so I just took advantage of that. Yeah. Had the conversations, with the family and stuff like that, and I just took it on, head first, and that's what I ended up choosing.
You always had clear it was gonna be basketball.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, giving it like that, it was the first sport that I ever played. Yeah. But I was actually passionate about it. Not saying I wasn't for baseball, but there's just different levels to it. I was in the gym every day, still am. It's just things like that.
I see you in the gym sometimes.
Yeah, and like baseball, I wasn't on the field all the time. I was just playing it for fun. Like I said, just outlet for fun. But no, when I picked basketball, I mean, I really had to really just stick with it. Tell myself like this is what I want to do. Be positive about it.
Like an easy decision for you to make, or
no, it wasn't. It was pretty hard. I mean, because I love baseball because of like the pure fun I had from it.
Okay.
I mean, and I was pretty good at it. I played all high school and travel. I was surrounded by good players, and I was doing really well. But I knew basketball was, that sport that I needed to be a part of, and I wanted to be a part of,
All right. For me, like I was starting playing hockey when I was 3 years old, and I kept playing until I was 16. But like then I switched to football. Like for me, it was like the hardest decision of my life. I was like, okay, should I do field hockey? Like I'm pretty good at it. But then I had so much passion for football. I was always like playing with my friends in the free time, and I could see I have some talent. Of course, I was not as good as them because they were in club training and everything. So at some was like, okay, I have to decide for one thing. And I mean, right now, I would have wanted to do it earlier, but now it's like I don't regret it. Like I'm here now, college football, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So I think my advice for people is to decide for one sport, because then you can put all your effort into it, and then you get the more success.
I think like taking that decision, of course, it's good to like as you said, like having two sports. I also played baseball for some time. Having two sports like give you different perspectives of life, of the sport, of the mental part, of the physical part. But like more at that age that you made the decision, like 14 is like a key age for like the development of an athlete, like sticking to one sport. For me, like that's very important, because then you can put all your effort there. Like how important do you think that was for you, like just sticking to that sport? And what did that allow you to do?
It was really important to me, just because it's not that I never had any support from family members or even friends in baseball, but it's the fact that I had more of it in basketball. And a lot of my friends and family, you know, saw me pick up a basketball first.
All right.
So I was just like, and that's part of the reasons why I play basketball, is not only for myself, but for the people who helped me and were surrounded by me, you know? But yeah, I transitioned into just making that decision. It was crazy, honestly. It's still hard to think about sometimes because I watch baseball a lot, and I'm like, dang, like I could be out there, you know, like, dang, I would love to be out there, but I try to remember that all the hours and time and, you know, conversations that I've had with people on the basketball side of things, I'm not gonna let that go to waste, you know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take advantage of that and stick my mind here and just go on with basketball.
Also, a big point for me is because I left the hockey behind, like all the journey and friends I had and all the nice experience. I was even more committed for my football career, because I left it behind now, so I have to actually focus on this one. So it's actually worth it.
Yeah, because you made a decision to leave something behind. So now you it has to be this. Like I have to put all into it if I left the other thing behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like setting up the priority is like a very important concept. Did you start seeing more progress in basketball once you started only focusing on it?
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, like we talked about earlier, I'm a gym rat.
Yeah.
I stay in the gym 24/7.
Yeah.
And when you're committed to not only getting better for yourself but for others around you, I think that's what drives me a lot, is a driving factor. When
you have a why.
Yeah, having a why is huge. That's key. I mean, because what are you just out there for, you know, if you don't have one, you know? But yeah, just staying in the gym, I mean, that took me to places that in my mind mentally that, you know, I didn't even know were possible at times. Because there's a lot of days where, dang, I'm tired, you know, my body's hurting. Oh, we had a hard practice. I might just sit down today. But in reality, it's like, if I'm tired in a game, how am I going to respond, you know?
Yeah.
So I took that, you know, with a lot of heart, you know, just if this happens, how am I going to respond, you know?
And knowing what you have to do and what you want to do. Because a lot of times we don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, if I could just lay in my bed all day, watch TikTok or something. But there's some things that you will have to do in order to get to your goal. That's when the intent comes again, you know. So you say you're a gym rat. Tell us a little bit how a day looked for you.
A normal day.
You were doing, yeah.
I mean, even a normal week for me, I just, you know, wake up, go to class, get some food. I normally go to Central, you know, get a nice sandwich, a smoothie.
All the basketball guys go to Central.
Yeah. So I'll go there, and then I'll actually go into the trainer's room, you know, roll out, stretch out, whatever I got to do, get warmed up.
Yeah.
And then depending on the day or just how I'm feeling, I'll either, you know, shoot on the shooting machine, or, you know, I'll just get shots up by myself with my headphones on. Yeah. It's nice. You don't have to chase your own rebound, you know? You just shoot it, it's right back to you. But that's normally what I do. And then after that, that's during the day, you know, and we'll practice from probably like 3 to 5, 3 to 4:30, something like that. And then I'll eat with the guys in the calf. And then later on, that's when I come back and, you know, try to focus on my development, you know, as to, okay, if I see this in a game, this is how I'm going to do, you know, react to it, or just
actually analyze it.
Yeah. And that's where I take advantage of my intent of the game, you know, and how I go about things. You know, late hours, people are tired, you know, people are tired, they're sore, they may have other stuff to do, or they just may have something that, you know, that might not be in their control. But either way, like, I know in my mind I'm going to take advantage of it, you know, because I know while I'm in here, somebody else is sitting down, you know. So that's normal day for me, normal week.
And how do you go through that, like to that late night practice? Do you have like a goal in mind you want to train, or something you saw maybe in an earlier practice or an earlier game? You go over that again. Like, what do you usually train there?
Normally it just depends, like how I'm feeling. I always got a bunch of stuff, you know, just like even workout plans or just what I want to do going in my brain. But that is, also from practice. Let's say, you know, I was screwing up in practice today about how to come off a screen and roll, you know. Okay, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get a chair, you know, act like it's I'm getting a screen, and I'm just get on the machine and, you know, go rep by rep by rep and just go through it.
People most of the time see games, but also in practice you get the feelings. You get to see how you're feeling, so you can make adjustment based what you see on practice, right?
You also mentioned you watch a lot of film. Like, how do you go into a film session? Do you just focus on yourself, or like also like different kind of plays, how other people move?
I think with film, because I was, truthfully, I never liked watching film when I was younger. I never liked,
kind of like the boring side.
Yeah, and like I just never liked watching myself, you know, and especially when I mess up, I'm like, dang, you know, like I don't want to see that, you know. But I think film,
cringe.
bad, you know. But I think with film, when you look at it, film is a positive thing. Yeah. Obviously, you're going to have a bunch of negatives, like you may mess up in a game or even in a practice, you know, but it's how you respond to it. And the way I go into film is I try to, you know, okay, if I messed up here, so the next play, I'll change it, you know, instead of, because you know, I have a problem where, you know, I do dwell sometimes, you know, when I'm out there, and it's more so I'm just frustrated at myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, I see that on film, you know, and I try to take advantage of that and be like, okay, so instead of, you know, I throw a bad pass and I get all, you know, in my feelings, I get all mopey and sad at myself, but I know that not only for myself, but my teammates need that, you know? So I try to go into the film just thinking about how I can help the team, how I can help myself, and, you know, how I can help us win.
I think it's very good that you not just focus on like
the technical part,
like the technical part, also like the mental part, like how you react to the stuff. What's the famous basketball film, Coach Carter?
Coach Carter, yeah.
When he like does the suicide runs and everything.
Oh yeah, we've had some days like that in practice.
Yeah. I mean, there's also now touching on the point of like how you react to when you throw a bad pass, when you make a mistake. There's probably the best coach right now in football. It's called Pep Guardiola. He has a very good player, and I mean, from a very good player, you can say a lot of stuff. Maybe his technical ability is the best thing about him. His passing, his shooting. But what he said was the best thing about him. His name is Phil Foden. What he said is the best thing about him was his ability to forget mistakes as soon as he makes it. So like blocking out, okay, yeah, it happened at the moment. And for me, that's something I battled with when I play. You know, I was used to like look back into it like 10 minutes after I was still thinking about that pass. Like, how do you like consistently get better at it? Because for me, it's always been hard, that part.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. That's something that I struggle with. Little background on me is I always chase perfection. Okay. You know, I don't like messing up. Nobody likes messing up.
Yeah.
Especially when nobody likes messing up, especially when you know and people know you on how you go about things. Like everybody knows I'm in the gym all the time. Everybody knows I get shots up, I practice, you know, I do all these things and I mess up, you know.
They know you put in the work, but then you make a mistake. Like you want to like show the people the work that you put in, right?
Yeah. And you know, that's a battle every day. But I try to, my coach always says it every single day, turn the page, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's so many things that, especially in a basketball game, that if you're moping for even just half a second, you know, something's gonna, you know, go over your head. You're not gonna know what's going on next, you know. So I just try to have the mindset for that is also like, again, not even just for myself, but for my team. If I sit here and mope, you know, for myself, feeling bad for myself, my teammates are all gonna be like, okay, so Brady's mentally out of this game.
Yeah.
So now what do we do from here, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And I don't want to, and like I don't ever want to put that on them, you know, because we're a team, we're a unit, you know. And I know my teammates are gonna pick me up, you know.
For me, it's also the same. Like you guys, when I do a mistake, it kind of drags me down. But my advice is to go into your game and like build your confidence up from there, and adapt or like react to your how you feel on the game day. If you feel or today doesn't have the handles today. So you try to do the basic stuff first and make sure the basic stuff works first, and then you can keep going from there.
I think the concept of like turning the page is so important because there's a moment for everything, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna look like the idea is to look back to that mistake, but there's a moment for that. Maybe after the game, when you're watching the film, you can go through that. But at that point, you have to react. Bro.
Yeah.
So like I think like everybody wants to have a game plan for the game. Like, okay, I want to do this. I want to like play perfect, as you said. But I think that game plan needs to have some adaptability.
Mhm.
I think there's never like the perfect
I
conditions.
think the game plan always is there until the game is actually starting.
Yeah, like the game, like you have to in your plan, you have to plan for the things that you're not planning for.
Yeah,
like if I
yeah.
if I get understand.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta expect the unexpected.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
what I was trying to say.
yeah, no, hey, you got it. And that's something I try to keep in mind too.
Yeah.
You know, not everything's gonna be perfect. No matter how hard I try to chase perfection and you know the idea of not messing up. I'm still gonna mess up. I'm human. You know, everyone's human. You're gonna mess up, but again, it all goes back to how you respond from it. You know.
Of course.
And that's just a big piece, not only in, at least I think, not only in the sports realm of things, but also in life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I think a lot of the things we learn in sports can apply to life.
Mhm.
Like even if you're not gonna be a professional athlete, I think if you have the chance to play sports, maybe at a high level or not even at a high level, at like any level, get so many lessons from it. Like as we mentioned, like expect the unexpected. It also translates to life. Consistency. Things are not gonna come hard. I'm not gonna talk like an old man that has lived a long time,
Mhm.
but I could like those are things that are obvious, you know.
Yeah.
Like from sports, you can get so many lessons that are gonna translate to your life. And then, okay, you started focusing on basketball. How was that development like until you started saying, okay, I'm at a very high level. I want to get something out of this.
It was honestly kind of like a reality shock, you know,
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so all these hours I, you know, spent and put in, it's like it's all coming to life, you know. It's actually happening,
I'm
you
seeing
know.
the results of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I try to remember that and just think like, okay, so I did all this to get here. Now I'm here. So like, why stop now?
All right.
You know, I try to think just like I said earlier, just 1% better every day. Just taking those days step by step, those hours, you know, hour by hour, and just stacking them, just stacking days. That's one thing we talk about on the team is just
Right.
stacking days. You know, we can't afford to just, you know, mope for a day or take a break, take a seat. You know, we gotta keep going. You know, just
Yeah.
keep pushing and everything.
And how do you started seeing the results of the work? Like, what were those things that made you say, like, okay, I'm here, like,
Mhm.
I'm good now?
Obviously with the stats, you know,
Okay.
obviously like I'll see.
Basketball is very, very stats big.
Yeah, like okay, I'll see. I had you know this amount of points, these amount of assists, rebounds, but I think also just with the feeling,
Yeah.
you know, especially when you win,
Yeah.
it's like, dang, did all this. We did all this as a team, and it's like, okay, I can see the results coming in. Like we're winning. I'm playing good. I'm feeling good. You know, everyone else, you know, it's contagious. You know, that contagious feeling of winning and just, you know, being surrounded by your brothers and all the time and the hours each one of you individually put in,
Yeah.
coming together. It's a great feeling.
You just mentioned the sense like, why should I stop now when I got that far?
Mhm.
I think that's the beautiful thing about consistency. Like, the more you keep going and the more you
Yeah.
build up, it's harder to pull out of it because you
Yeah.
did all the work.
Mhm.
That's true, man. And how important, like, would you say that reinforcement you were getting from the stats, from the team, that was like a motivator for you, like a pusher for you to keep going, as Matt said?
Yeah. I mean, I love stats. You know, I think
Yeah.
stats are cool. You know,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, if you really want to, you know, get down to winning and you know actually have a bond with your team, I think you kind of got to forget the stats part of it.
Yeah.
And chase a dream, you know, or chase that, you know, goal with your team.
Also, just last podcast, we talked with a football guy, Lutz, Matthias Lutz from the football program or soccer program, and he also mentioned, of course, stats are nice. I would like to score 5 goals
Yeah.
every game, but in the
Yeah.
end, you have to know what is the part for the team you have to take to make the team win. But in the end, it's all about the wins.
100%. And like, I think that's also a hard concept to understand, especially if you're a good basketball player. You know, you're gonna have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Honestly, in whatever sport or even in life, you know, if you really want to get to that end goal that everyone else wants. So doing stuff like that, you know, that's huge, especially obviously not for your team, but for yourself. That shows that, you know, you're capable of having that, of recognizing that, okay, maybe I need to put others, you know, first instead of myself, you know.
Right.
Not saying forget about yourself, but how am I going to help them while helping me?
And that also comes like in adapting to the game, adapting your game plan, right? Because maybe one day you cannot be, you're probably not as sharp as normally, so you have to put like priorities for the other guys. And that also comes like, I'm very big about is breaking the goals down into actionable steps, right? So you mentioned stats, maybe you average, I don't know, 30 points a game, something like that, but not making your goals score those 30 points a game, but like, okay, what do I have to do to help? Okay, I'm a scorer. What do I have to do to help the team in a better way? So probably moving more to the side, trying to shoot more from this part, trying to make it, I don't know how it works for basketball exactly, but like putting into actionable things is something that maybe you were also doing.
Yeah, every goal that I've ever, you know, really thought about, I've never tried to chase it like as a whole.
Okay, not just saying like, I want to play good.
Yeah, you know, but it's like, okay, again, how am I going to play good?
Okay, yeah.
You know, am I going to make an extra pass to my teammate so I get that an assist?
Yeah.
So he makes it,
you
know, so then he feels good, you know, all that. And then, or, you know, how am I going to come off this screen and roll? You know, am I going to look to score? Am I going to look to pass?
An actionable thing. You can control.
Yeah. And a lot of times in basketball, you can't always control everything. So I try to keep in mind, you know, control what you can control.
Yeah.
You know, and if one of those things is helping my team win and doing what I need to do, I can control that. I'm going to play, you know, whether that's playing defense, making an extra pass, even just encouraging my teammate, you know, that's huge. So
everything of that is important. But as you said, like you cannot just say, okay, let's win the game.
Yeah.
So many uncontrollable things. Maybe the best player gets injured. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, that's a factor you have to keep in mind. But just focusing on like what you actually can control.
Yeah.
I think that's a very key concept.
Yeah. A long time ago. Wow. When I was younger, I stopped trying to think.
Talking like, oh man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that wise man
we're
thing.
getting old now.
Yeah, I'm only 21, man. But when I was younger, I tried to not think about the personal part of that stuff, and more of the team oriented stuff.
All right.
So that's kind of just how I go about, you know, the goals and everything like that. And like I mentioned, you know, goals to winning, you can't just want to win. Of course you can want to win, but it's not going to happen on its own. So whether that may be give my teammate an extra high five, you know, talking to my teammate about a play he might not know, making an extra pass, all the little stuff like that, you know, something that not only will benefit myself, but also the team or the group that you may be in. That's just, you know, takes advantage of that stuff.
And also if you have those smaller goals, then it's harder for you to fail, because you say your goal was to give a high five to make this extra pass, and you do it. Like, maybe you don't win, but you did what you said you were going to win. So is that you get that reinforcement, which at the end helps you to be more consistent, because you're always succeeding instead of seeing it as failure, you know, because you probably didn't win the game. The thing is how you frame things that really, really changes everything.
Yeah.
You know?
I think winner, you know, whether you win or lose, it's just you know, circling back to stacking days, you know, build off of giving a teammate an extra high five. Okay, so I did it in this game, now I got to do it in the next one, and just you know, just continue on and everything. So
it's also good to set yourself goals for the game, because of course you just talked about like you shouldn't like say yourself I'm going to win the game, but of course in the end for the team, the end goal is to win every game. And I think by setting yourself goals, you can elaborate afterwards, and not elaborate, evaluate your performance and see if it actually helped the team or if it not helped the team.
And they make adjustments based on that and see, okay, this actually didn't really help that much. I'm not gonna keep doing it, or okay, this was a very big factor. I'm gonna keep doing it, as you said, like doing the high fives.
Yeah.
Like maybe it brings the energy out. Probably, so okay, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like you see a good reaction, and you start like adapting it. You know.
I think it's really nice how you mentioned the high five. I think it sounds so simple, but I think by setting the right tone, you also mentioned like you look a lot of like about your how you react to plays, your mentality. How small gestures like this can bring up the whole team, and everyone starts to doing this, like it gets the right temperature, also like in practice and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you manage to start when you realize you started getting better, like what were those things that you were in the high school at that point? Are those things that helped you develop more and brought you to like the college? Did you always have the college in your mind?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I played travel basketball.
Yeah.
So I was going from state to state, playing all these tournaments with other kids from other schools.
Yeah.
And I think from that point on, I kind of just made in my mind that, college is something that I can really like go get, I can go take advantage of. And then I got on to high school. I actually transferred from a public school to a big basketball private school.
Okay.
I was averaging 30 a game.
Okay.
My senior year, I started when I was a freshman on varsity and all that. So just doing, some rare things, that might not be heard all the time. But from high school transitioning into college presented a more opportunity-based kind of vision to me.
Okay. In what way?
Like the people I'm surrounded by, the equipment, the people, like I said, the people and everything. Just a lot of smaller things. Because in high school, you still practice every day, you still watch film, you still play games, but
you can see the higher level of the
and then when you get to college, you like you said, you can see the difference in everything. So like I was seeing obviously guys bigger than me, like way bigger than me. I was seeing players' IQ levels just up here. Mine's up here, but theirs is like up here because they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, because you were probably the best where you were, but then they bring the best of every place here. So it's like a lot of like the level just goes way higher.
Yeah, that brings a great point. I had to learn that I'm not the man anymore. In high school, like I said, 30 points a game. All right, cool. That was high school. Yeah. Now I'm in college with all these dudes who probably had 30 points a game too.
Yeah.
So I'm over here. I got to get over myself. I got to do what's right for the team, And yes, I'm still going to score. I'm still going to do this and that to help us win. But it's just the level or like how I'm going to go about it.
How was your thinking process about it? Like when you realized you're not the man anymore, like the man, like did you try to force it, or like you said, you did the job for the team?
When I realized that, I tried to think, like for the team more than myself. I mean, having self-confidence is huge. You need it. But I also understood that when you have confidence coming from your teammates, that's when you really start to perform, When my teammates get excited for me for hitting like a big time shot or even making a great pass or something like that, as a player, that makes me want to, keep going, not only for me, but for them.
Yeah, I heard a quote the other day, like confidence has to come from competence, right? So it's not just like faking self-confidence and just trying to force your way to the top, but like actually doing the stuff that's really helping, because maybe if you try to force that way for you to become the man, to be the man, maybe at that point you wasn't, I don't know, like maybe you weren't prepared for that, or maybe it wasn't what the team needed. So it would have hurt the team more than it helped. So it's very, very nice that you were not selfish about it, actually understood that the team was the first team.
Mhm.
So how was all that recruitment process for you? Because I mean, a lot of guys watching like want to come to college. How was all that recruitment process for you? Like to pick in the college, also to coming here, to adapting to the college.
So with going to a smaller school, you may not hear from the amount of people that you want to as far as recruiting goes.
Okay.
So when I was at my public school, there was, public school, you got a bunch of kids there.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a lot of resources. You're going to have a lot of, people you can conversate with and everything like that. But transitioning to a smaller school, that kind of limits and shrinks it down. Not saying that it'll never be there, which it was. But yeah, I played travel basketball, so I didn't really have anything during the time I played. I was still, no schools contacted me. Right. But also part of that was because of myself. I didn't really reach out. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm only 17, 18 in high school still. Do I even want to keep doing this,
Yeah. So you had some doubt on you?
I had a little bit of doubt. There's always doubt,
Also doubt before not getting the offers, also before already.
Before, just because I was smaller. I'm still small, but having that support system helped me realize okay, just because I'm small doesn't mean I can't do, certain things that people can't, And but yeah,
I have to say, man, last year I was watching all the games, and I probably the first game I saw. And I saw you dunking, man. You're probably the same height as me. I don't know. I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't stands.
Bro, I cannot even touch the net, But for you being able to dunk, bro, it was really surprising. I just want to say that.
Thank you. Yeah. So in high school, I didn't really have anything. I had a couple Division III schools, a couple JUCO colleges. Right. But then, Tech, somebody messed up my recruitment process. Okay. That's a whole different story. But all in all, somebody said I didn't want to go, or I was only trying to go to big schools. Okay. And as a player, I'm that's not the case. I'm just trying to go play. I'm trying to play college basketball no matter where it is, Yeah. And thankfully my trainer back home, that she got in touch with, a couple of NAI schools, and Tech being one of them. So they hit me up and I hit them up, and after that, I came here.
It was smooth process.
Yeah, real smooth. And I felt this school was the only school that was willing to take a chance on me, All right. And I'm not saying other schools didn't. Yeah. That's not the case at all. It's just this school felt so genuine about it. Hey, we want to help you succeed. We want to help you keep playing and do all these other things and see you, progress on in life as well.
Which part did your mom take in the decision process?
I bet she was a big part of it.
Yeah, she was a really big part. Both parents were, honestly. But with her being from the basketball side of things, she was like, yeah, you gotta attack this, you gotta take this, especially if you can tell that the school wants you to come play for them. The coach wants you to come play for them. Oh, you got to take that, That's
of course.
Because having a scholarship or even just being able to be here, that's not an opportunity that a lot of people get.
Yeah, of course.
So in your mind, or in my mind, I had to realize this is something that's being presented to me. I gotta take it,
And then from the beginning, did you have to prove yourself, or were you at a good position at the beginning when coming here to the college level?
I'd say I didn't really have to prove anything. Right. I had to, because everyone knows. Obviously the coaches and know my teammates and stuff. They know what I'm capable of. Right. So I don't have to prove anything. Oh hey, I can do this and that. What you guys have seen me play. They know what I'm capable of, and that's that trust right there. Mm. But I had to also just take into account these guys are just taking a chance on me, I'm not going to be selfish about it. I'm not going to be me, because they're also getting other guys too to come play with me, and I'm playing with them, So I just had to keep that in mind and just take the leap,
There's also I don't really remember, but in one of the past podcasts, somebody mentioned like these guys are paying for like helping you pay your tuition. Like they're putting the equipment for you every day.
Mm-hmm.
So you in some way you have to pay them back, and I think the best way to pay them back is to perform.
Yeah.
And not really also to perform, but like to give your best.
Yeah.
Like to give what you can control, to give it the best you can.
Mm-hmm. And kind of like, to bounce off that, it's like I had to show up every day. I had to realize in my mind I have to show up every day, because again, these guys are paying for my school.
Yeah.
And that just goes with the whole opportunity thing. Not everybody gets that. So I gotta do something that's like, I gotta show these guys like I want to be here, and not only for them.
People take it for granted.
Yeah, not even just for them, but for myself.
I would also add like another point of view to that. Of course, like we should be thankful for getting the chance, but also think we should appreciate ourselves, like putting all the work you mentioned, like being consistent, like playing since 3 years, putting in the gym work, recovery, taking the shots, video sessions. I think we should also like appreciate ourselves, not just.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you see people doing themselves like a disservice.
Yeah.
Almost like, dang, they're paying for my school. I did all these hours and everything, all these trainings, and I'm not doing anything, to give anything back to them, Yeah. So for yourself, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot with that one,
Yeah.
So that's what I try to, stay out of mentally on, any like negativity. I just got to show up every day, for myself and for them.
Yeah, I mean the main goal at the end is it has to be your development, like making your growth your main goal, and that way you're just gonna keep progressing. Of course, there's some other factors, like of course the coach is helping you. You wanna like kind of pay them back too. Your family that's supporting you, as you mentioned, you're very big on doing things for others. Like you made that your why, your motivation. But at the end of the day, the only person that's there in the thoughts that you have, the hours at night putting in the work, the moments you don't want to do stuff, is yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to like, okay, I've come all this way. I have to keep going, man. So it's kind of like, you want to reward those people, you want to pay to those people in some way, but at the end it has to be your development.
I agree.
And then like a very big thing for college athletes is also, the academic part, and it's not easy to manage sports at a high level and also academics at a high level. What do you think you've managed to do both?
Asking questions. You got to ask questions.
I like that one, man.
I know. I personally don't like school. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. Of course I'm blessed and, thankful to be here, but I just never really liked school, just sitting in the classroom all day, but I try to be positive about it, because a prime example, Professor Walls, if you guys know him, he's a great source, and he knows a bunch of people. So I took advantage of that, of asking like, okay, so if I come across this at a certain point, who can I contact for this and that, So just little opportunities like that. I try to manage it as well with, just taking some extra time, even whether that may be before practice or after I eat, before going to the gym, just trying to just look over any kind of study guides or any homework I got. And like, I'll just even, be around my friends and stuff. Yeah. I'll be like, hey, like, can you quiz me for this?
Okay.
I also just try and do that stuff,
You like very,
Well, I really like just to say, ask questions. Like it sounds simple, but it's so effective. I think the biggest benefit of the American school system is like you can be, or like also like a smaller school, university. If you get into contact with your professors, like they do so much effort for you and like they help you out, like giving you contacts like Dr. Walls.
And people don't really know how much they can get if they just ask for stuff. Like just getting, of course, for some people it's not like the most comfortable thing. For me at the beginning when I came here, maybe a different language, I was kind of shy, kind of developed that communication skills. But like it's getting out of that comfort zone and really asking questions, because the amount of stuff that you can get, mostly university, you're like you're surrounded by experts in every field. So by just asking questions, like you really have to get outside of that comfort zone to like get something from it.
And also the teacher feels more appreciated when you ask them questions.
Yeah. Probably like somebody will think that they might feel like, because maybe this is what I thought. They might feel like bothered, but it's not really like that.
But I think let them feel like they're like worth of asking something.
Yeah. So, that you're just asking questions for you. I think that's something we don't really hear a lot, but it's one of probably the most important things.
Yeah, that was, and kind of just going back on my recruitment, that's kind of why, or like a big reason, like I wanted to come here.
Yeah.
You know, especially being at a smaller school, you have those closer, tighter relationships, you know, and you can build off of those. So just hearing that, you know, Tech was a smaller school kind of made me feel more comfortable that, okay, I can still ask these questions. You know, I can still go up to like a professor and be like, hey, you know, same like with Walls, who can I contact for this? Or even just asking a question if I don't understand anything, you know, I feel comfortable asking them, you know, a question.
Okay.
So that's just what I try to do with any kind of schoolwork I have, and taking advantage and balancing the two. Because, I mean, when you don't ask, you have no idea what's going on.
It's all really, really nice to see teachers coming to the games and support you.
Oh, yeah.
And just makes it like the same thing. You ask them questions, like lets them feel appreciated, and they come into your games, makes you feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to see it from both sides.
For everybody, just ask questions, right?
Yeah, just ask
key.
questions.
That's key, man.
Ask questions.
So, I mean, we've talked a lot about your development, about all the valuable things you've mentioned. Like, I think you've said a lot of valuable stuff, like staying consistent, building day by day, you know. Also having the intent for me was a very big thing, because if you don't have a goal in mind, if you don't have somewhere where you want to get, you're probably wasting your time, because maybe it doesn't relate with your goal, because first of all, you don't have a goal, you know.
Yeah.
And also like overcoming those maybe hardships that you have of maybe being not the biggest one, but making it into an advantage, you know. And also having people in your context that supports you, as your mom has done. So I think there's a lot of valuable stuff that people can get from this podcast, man. Now, if you're okay with that, we can go through some rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
I mean, we went through some with crew. So let's see if you guys have the same view. What do you think is the most underrated player of all time?
Most underrated player of all time?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, just a personal opinion for you.
Personal opinion? Oh, there's so many.
Right now. Let's put right now. Guy you say, okay, this guy is good, but he's not getting as much credit.
Brady Tius.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll go with that one. No. Probably Brandon Ingram, I'd say, in the league right now.
Okay.
He went to Duke. I love Duke. I'm a big Duke fan. So I just like how he just goes about the game. Watched him all the time. So
okay,
he's pretty smooth with his game. So and I appreciate that. So I like watching it. So yeah.
Okay.
What's your core memory of basketball?
Core memory? Oh, winning state my senior year in high school. Yeah.
Okay, let's hope that everybody in the team watches this in your team, because I'm gonna ask you who has the worst drip in the team.
Oh, the worst drip? Ooh. Okay. Is it Landon? It might be Landon. Yeah.
Who could be the other guy? So you can put a picture in and compare.
Yeah, it might have to be Landon. Yeah, he's new, freshman from California. Like, he will legit show up in non-matching clothes.
Okay.
And just be like, hey guys.
Hey.
It's like, all right, it's you. It's definitely you.
And what's the best drip?
Best drip?
Not
probably Steele.
Steele,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty calm. I would say myself, but I'm pretty calm. But
just
I'd say
chilling.
Steele. Yeah.
Right.
So, how would your coach describe you as a player?
As a player, I mean, I'd hope he'd say, I just show up every day. I'm willing to work, willing to just be there for, all the guys and just show up. Just give it my all,
Yeah. Who's putting the music in the locker room?
God, we don't even play music in the locker room.
No?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We don't really.
Is it something planned? Something that you guys want to keep the energy like that, or it's just that you don't think?
Well, because we normally play it on the big speakers in the gym.
Oh, okay.
During practice. Yeah. Honestly, but like the guy who connects to it and everything is probably Coach Aubrey, our assistant coach.
Oh yeah.
None of the guys really do, but Coach Aubrey, he has
good shoe game.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. You want to talk about having drip? Woo! He got it.
Okay. Yeah. I always used to see him like with every time the shoe was matching.
Yeah. He's got some new shoes on every day.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, no music for the games.
No, but they play. Yeah. Sometimes you guys have the band there. Do you like the band?
No hate to anybody. If you're on the band team, you watching this. Hey, no hate to you guys, but it's just like, just having music is such a basketball thing, just from the speakers. But
don't say anything. The president is.
Yeah. No hate. No,
the band is amazing, man. Gives the energy out.
Better than the basketball game itself.
They be killing it sometimes, man.
So what's the most important attribute of your game?
Probably either my speed or my mid-range pull-up jump shot.
Okay, mid-range pull-up.
Yeah.
So that's the one where you're like running towards the basket.
And I just stop and pop.
Okay.
Just inside the 3-point line, whatever that may be in transition or off a screen. I just one dribble and then I go up.
Right. Yeah. What's the best basketball movie of all time?
Basketball movie?
Yeah.
See, probably Coach Carter. In my opinion. I don't really watch basketball movies like that, but if there's one that I've seen, it's probably that one, I'd say.
Did you watch The Hustle?
Oh, that's a pretty good one too. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Adam Sandler. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
If you could pick one move, would it be the perfect jump shot or the perfect handles?
Jump shot for sure. Because I could lose the ball or whatever and get it back, and then I'll still have the perfect jump shot and it'll go in. So that's how I think about it.
Okay. And I was gonna ask you about your favorite quote, but now you mentioned your favorite. You're a very big Kobe guy.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us like biggest Kobe lesson that you've learned? Because I think like a lot of guys, I mean, for me also, like go through that Kobe stage.
Yeah.
Like I read the book and everything, and there's a lot of lessons that guy has. But what's the biggest one for you?
Any kind of quote or even just idea that has the thought of just keep going.
Okay.
And I'm sure you saw on my phone, I don't know if you did, but that's what I have on my wallpaper is just 2 words, just keep and going.
Yeah.
That speaks more towards life than it does in basketball.
Yeah.
I know we talked about earlier, like, you can't really afford to take a day back. You got to keep going because let's say you do sit back, somebody's going to pass you.
Yeah.
Things are going to pass you. You're going to miss opportunities. The world doesn't stop for you, And I try to keep that in mind. Even just from watching him too, he'd miss a couple shots, have a bad game, and he's going to still keep going, during the whole game and have a better one the next game, a better day the next day,
That's so cool, Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
But that's what it's all about, just keep going.
Yep.
Because of course things get hard and it's easier to say it than to do it. Because when you're struggling through the whole week, it's harder to do stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to keep going, man.
Yeah.
Because, in order to get stuff done.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Kobe is probably the best example of what it looks like to, again, just keep going. But when times get rough, are you going to sit there? Are you going to stand there and, pout? Or are you going to get after it during those late hours? That extra time you have, you're going to, what are you going to do so you can get better for the next thing to happen,
I think what's he's also such a big, sports figure because he went to that side of the sport, like to actually sending a message to every fan. Because of course these guys, MJ, LeBron, they also send a message, but it's also more through their game. They're probably the best ones, right? But I think Kobe was also in that mission of inspiring the athletes, and I think he's helped a lot of guys. I mean, I've had some lessons from him. You too.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very he left like a very big legacy on the sport, you know.
For sure.
No, man, I really appreciate you from being here with us.
Yeah.
We had a very nice time speaking to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
We got a lot of value from it. Also, we had a lot of fun. I hope the people there also had a lot of value of fun, man.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I really appreciate you, man.
For sure. Yeah, hey, man, subscribe to these dudes, man. I think what they're doing is great. Yeah, just keep it up, you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. See you in the next one.